Hey guys, I'm Alex from technoclass.com, and today we're checking out the Nokia Lumia 930. This is the flagship phone from Nokia by Microsoft today, and as you can see in the box it says 930 right here. This is powered by a Snapdragon 800 2.3 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's got a 5-inch full HD display. It's actually a very beautiful display, backed by a clear black Gorilla Glass 3 thing. It's a very awesome phone with 20 megapixel camera and rich audio recording with 5.1 surround sound. That's crazy. We're gonna take a look at it right now. I'll see you guys after the break. Alright guys, so here's the Nokia Lumia 930. As you can see, it does come in orange, green, and white. I do believe the ones in the Philippines are the orange, white, and black ones. We got the black version. There's a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to try and get through this unboxing as quickly as possible to save time. And this is the Lumia 930. I'm going to power it on right now. Boom, there we go. Let's put that over there. And inside the box we have, looks like a travel charger. How much power do we get from this guy? It looks like 1.5 amps, so that's a fairly fast charger. And looks like we have a not 3.5 millimeter. It's a micro USB cable for charging and data transfer. Underneath this flap here, we have some Nokia Care paperwork for your warranty and a quick guide for your Nokia Lumia 930. Not a lot of things in there. There's no headphones or anything. And this is the phone itself. Look at that display. Very gorgeous. With a clear black, all black sort of screen front. Always a great standard for display technology right there. As you can see, the AMOLED is popping up saturation all over the place, and as you can see, this is the live tile interface. We're going to close the display just a little bit, and as you can see, this is a 5.0 inch full HD 1920 by 1080 AMOLED clear black Gorilla Glass 3 display with sort of a curved area right there. I can actually clean that really quickly, and didn't do a good job, but there you go. And sort of a curved sides right here, as you can see from the reflection, makes the phone great to hold, and actually the display makes it a super shiny but really visible in direct sunlight as well. And of course we do have a Nokia logo over there. That is a, let's see here, it's a 1.2 megapixel front camera, and probably hidden underneath here are the proximity sensors and light sensitivity sensors. Speaker grill right there. On the bottom we have a nice small pinhole microphone over there, smack dab in the middle. Start button over there, and a Bing search button right here. And of course the back button, and of course you can use that to multitask as well by pressing this button. Alright, so that's the front. Really gorgeous front, and as you can see, that's just, the reflection just makes it even better. It's like a really nice car, actually, like a nice sports car would reflect. Over on the side, left side right here, there is no actual buttons, but you will notice this black area right here is actually metal. Over on the box you see that the other variants of the colors have a nice silver metal strip, which makes it look definitely metallic, but on the black version it does hide the fact that it's metal right there. On the bottom we have a micro USB port for charging and data transfer. On the right we have the buttons for a Windows phone. This is the dedicated camera button, which you can hold to press and unlock the phone and go to the camera itself very fast. There we go. Power and unlock button, and a volume rocker. Now the buttons are in sort of a shinier shade of black, and they're tablet shaped. Although my complaint here is that they're a little mushier than I would like. I mean, for example, I do have a Nokia Lumia 1020 here. This is my personal phone, and the buttons are definitely more feedbacky and can definitely feel them better. But that's just a minor thing. Obviously, I want to compare it to the 1020 later on a little bit more. Anyway, the top here we have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and I believe those little sort of semi-transparent areas right there, top and bottom, are little plastic areas or polycarbonate areas where the antenna signal can push through. Now over on this little nick here is that this is a nano SIM phone, and if you put your fingernail in there you can open it up and get the nano SIM tray. There's not a lot of people who use nano SIMs just yet, so that's a bit of a thing. But of course, you can still cut most SIMs currently available today and make them nano SIMs. So it should be compatible with the Nokia Lumia 930. Over on the back, it's a very subdued back compared to the more colorful ones, but it is still a very beautiful back. Here is the speaker grill right there. There's another microphone right here. By the way, this guy has 4 directional microphones, if I remember correctly, giving us full 5.1 surround sound recording if you wanted to. I'll show you that later. Here's a Nokia logo in the middle, and here we have a nice 20 megapixel PureView Zeiss camera with, I do believe, dual LED flash. Now, it is still a PureView camera, although the 1020's camera is definitely bigger in terms of both actual megapixels, sensor size, and even the bump. So definitely, it also has a xenon flash. So definitely not, gonna usurp the Lumia 1020 in terms of big camera design, but the 20 megapixel sensor is still very, very good, and it's actually a lot more pocketable and a lot more better feeling in the hand. There you go. So that's the parts of it. And actually, it's a very, very, very beautiful phone, especially when you look at it from the front. It looks, like I said, it looks like a beautiful polished sports car from the front. On the sides, you do feel that heft of the, I do believe it's aluminum sides. It's very, very solid. And on the back, it's a nice polycarbonate back, and you can get one in nice colors. So one of the most beautiful Windows phones to date. I do want to maybe get a little bit more design on the back here, maybe more something that calls to your attention. But of course, this is the black version. You can get the colored versions as well. Beautiful design, as known from Nokia. We're going to move on to talk about the interface, and there's a lot of things to talk about after the break. Alright guys, here we are to the nitty gritty, the meat and potatoes of the things, and it's actually very, very cool. This is Windows Phone 8.1, a much, much more improved and more feature-packed OS than even Windows Phone 8 and Windows Phone 7, definitely. Multitasking is now on hand. There's a lot of new features like file management, all that. Even has this new swipe down notification area, which you can actually click to go to that part of the app where it is actually pointing to that notifications. For example, I click that Facebook notification, I'm gonna go to that sort of thing where she commented or that person done. There's now another row of live tiles, which it is much better because you do have a 5-inch 1080p display. Looking over to my Lumia 1020, I didn't enable that, but I did get the update. Because the screen is smaller, I did prefer the 2-row live tiles. Because the display is smaller, and as you can see, that's just a big difference in display right there. Of course, the Lumia 930 has a very, very beautiful display to look at as well. Alright, so at the heart of Windows Phone 8.1 is still the live tiles, as you can see right here. You can pin a lot of things. You can pin Facebook, you can pin Facebook groups, Facebook pages, you can pin your friends onto the start area right here. And yeah, it's live tiles. You can get updates like, for example, that update right there. There's pictures coming in with news, weather, and all that. It's a nice, sort of active home screen, if you will. And of course, you can see now that most tiles now have a parallaxing background, so it's a nice feature there. And here is the full list of your applications. So it's a very nice, very simple interface to get. There's all of your favorite things right here in however you want to arrange them, and here is all of the applications so you can easily scan them if you wish. So a lot of things have changed since Windows Phone 8 and Windows Phone 7. There's now Bluetooth transfers embedded onto the actual OS itself. You can actually send files. So if you go to Photos, for example, you want to send a picture, you can just press share and actually click Bluetooth, and it'll show up all of the gadgets that you have paired on hand, and you can send those files to them. Now, particularly, you can also use a file manager software and folder management software as well, which is provided by Microsoft. And now you can have, apps on folders, or you can actually pick files that are not, pictures and stuff from the file system which is a great help because, you know, it used to be pretty hard to actually get files into this phone. Alright guys, so this is also the new keyboard for Windows Phone 8.1. It's a very nice gesture type keyboard. You can actually just tap it, or you can do swiping gestures. So for example, I'm going to try quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. There you go, first try, no problem. Perfect. Alright, so there you go. That's a really cool keyboard. There's also emojicon support, so you can, if you want to put a dog on that that text, you can put it in there. It auto predicts that. So that's an awesome new update for the keyboard as well. As far as the app ecosystem is concerned, it's definitely much more improved over the previous iterations of the Windows Phone OS. And as you can see, you can see my downloads here. There's a lot of apps that are on tap already, and there are some very cool apps like movie editors and stuff like that available now for Windows Phone 8.1. Now, the stuff that you want, like Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram. So I do have Instagram right here, Instagram Beta. And it works perfectly fine, perfectly good, and actually does everything you want out of Instagram. So most of the social networks, you know, Line or whatever kind of a messaging application you want, works perfectly now. So all of them can be multitasking on the background, can give you notifications. So it's pretty much on par with most smartphone OSs right now already, except for the games. The games, they're kind of limited, but as you can see, there's a lot of Gameloft games right here. There's Asphalt 8, Dungeon Hunter 4, GT Racing 2. Unfortunately, Modern Combat 5 is not downloadable on the 930 yet. For some reason, they are still trying to optimize that for the 930. As for system shortcuts, there's quite a lot of improvement as well. As you can see, you can now switch toggles your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or even change other settings. Actually, you can assign these 4 toggle buttons to be different, but you do have a quick access setting right there. Used to be you have to install an app to actually toggle Wi-Fi and all that, which I do still have on my Lumia 1020. As you can see right here, I do have system toggles right here, battery, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and all that. That's sort of built in now, but there's still no easy way to get into your battery information except by pressing this little guy, which is an application I still had to install out of the marketplace. So that's, you know, a little bit improvement. Mostly improved. Alright, so moving on to one of the biggest features that I do like is the Nokia camera. Now, everybody knows about this Nokia camera. It is one of the best camera interfaces available because it does give you pretty much all of the information or the settings that you need for manual exposure. And this has been very much improved over the 1020, if only because of the speed. Now, the 1020 was no slouch, but this guy definitely wins out when it comes to speed. 3, 2, 1, click. And loading. And there you go. The Lumia 930 wins by quite a lot of seconds in loading the shot. So I'm going to take one picture right now. And looks like the 930 has already saved the file, and that's when the 1020 is finished. That's a big deal for me. Of course, this guy saves 41 megapixel files or 38 megapixel files at maximum, but still, the Snapdragon 800 processor makes the camera you know, experience much better. Of course, you still get, you know, lossless zooming if you zoom. Let me try and show you that. So you can still zoom without losing any detail because it's just using PureView technology. Video quality is amazing as well. Almost the same as the 1020, but, you know, slightly less, slightly more noisy, slightly less zoom. But there you go. There's no loss in quality when you zoom in. This is one of the features I wish a lot of smartphones have, but only Nokia Lumia devices have. Of course, this guy trumps the 1020, particularly when it comes to sound. If you go to the settings right here, go to settings right here, there is an option for sort of a rich sound. There you go, surround sound. You will have, if you turn this on, the file types you get will have a audio channel with 5.1 surround. Now you can play that in your usual players with 5.1 surround, and you can hear all of the sounds around you like you were just in that same place. So awesome feature. Also, if you're, so let's say, in a rock concert, the audio on this guy, the microphones on these guys will pick up, I do believe, like 100 plus decibels without blowing out the sound. Most phones will not be able to pick that up, and that's one of the biggest features of the Nokia Lumia 930. Alright, so we're moving on to video games now on the Nokia Lumia 930, and as you can see, we're playing Asphalt 8. Very, very cool racing game, and look at that display. Very, very nice display. Speakers, by the way, pretty good as well. And there we go, we're off to the races. So the Lumia 930, for Windows Phone, there is no setting for graphics, but this, I do believe, is running on pretty much the highest quality graphics. As you can see, there's blurring all around and all that stuff. So frame rate is almost a very, probably a very, very solid. Looks like I don't feel any frame drops at all, and the sort of experience is near console quality, if not better. But definitely very, very, very enjoyable gameplay right here. No frame lags or anything, no input lags at all, and it's just a very enjoyable experience. There you go. Alright guys, so here we are checking out another game. This is also from Gameloft, because they're pretty much one of the biggest developers for Windows Phone games right now, and they should be, because their games are awesome. This is Dungeon Hunter 4, a sort of hack and slash RPG, maybe like Diablo or something like that. And as you can see, the graphics look great. Look at that shadow. I don't usually pick up that shadow on other Android phones. And on the Lumia 930, as you can see, gameplay looks pretty smooth, and the shadows are actually nice and bright. So, gameplay is really nice, actually. Display, the AMOLED display makes this game look even better than I imagined, actually. Sound is pretty good. I'd imagine if you put on some headphones, that'll be very, very awesome as well. So we're just gonna move around here, and I don't know, look for more enemies. But yeah, this looks great. It plays great, looks great as well. Though, like I said, again, some of the other Android equivalent games are not available, but if you're not a big gamer, or you do appreciate your Gameloft games, you can still play most of them here on the Nokia Lumia 930. Alright guys, so I think that's about it for the Nokia Lumia 930 review, and I think it is definitely the best Windows Phone you can get right now. It is the flagship for Nokia, and I think it is the best Windows Phone out right now, with all of the features you want out of a phone. 20 megapixel camera, Snapdragon 800, gorgeous display, and clear black technology, making it look super, super awesome. And like I said, the features like zooming while on video and camera and pictures, it cannot be reproduced by other smartphones right now. So this is still one of the most enjoyable camera phones out there, because you can zoom. I think that's a big thing. That's still one of my favorite features out there, and it's only available on the Nokia Lumia. The 5.1 audio is a great thing, especially if you're somewhat of a amateur videographer. You want to make 5.1 audio videos. You can get a 930 and get somewhat the same experience. Really good microphones in there with high rich recording. Alright, so time to talk about the pros and cons. So now, number one pro is that it is solidly built and a bit heavy, actually. It's a bit hefty. I don't remember exactly how many grams it does have, but because of the metal build, you can definitely feel the metal in your hands. I do have to mention that it's a bit squarish in design. It's a bit not rounded on the corners right here, which is a little uncomfortable for people who are used to more rounded edges or rounded corners, but it does make the design a lot cooler and a lot more, I don't know, Nokia-ish or whatever. There's the awesome 20 megapixel PureView camera, which takes really good still photos, despite not having a really, bumpy back, and dual LED flash. I like that the RAW capture is available if you're into that kind of thing. And of course, the lossless video and picture zooming is, I think, still one of the best features out there in the market. Amazing sound capture and reproduction for that 5.1 audio surround. The performance is amazing. I don't know if I need to show you that, but as you can see, scrolling around is perfect. Launching applications is definitely faster than my Lumia 1020, which already loads applications fast enough, or fast-ish. And you know, Windows Phone 8.1 has matured into this OS that is actually a pleasure to use, if you ask me. There's also built-in wireless charging, and if you're buying this, I think until September 30th, 2014, which is this month, you can get a wireless charger for free with the package of the Nokia Lumia 930. Alright, so we're going to talk about the cons now, which is a list on its own. Number one is the nano SIM holder or SIM tray. It's a bit of a, I guess, a disadvantage for some, especially if you own like a regular SIM or a micro SIM already. You do have to cut it again or get another SIM. Alright, so one of the other cons that you want to see is that it doesn't have the glance feature. As you can see right here on my Lumia 1020 on the right, it does have that ambient information that I would like to see. The 930 doesn't have it. Also, both of these phones do not have Cortana, which is the voice assistant on the Windows Phone ecosystem, if only because we live in the Philippines. Cortana is available in the US and I do believe Canada, and they're rolling it out on on more countries right now. But right now, if you set your location to the Philippines, you won't get Cortana. One of the smaller flaws that I've noticed is that the buttons are not as responsive as I want it to be. You know, the Lumia 1020's buttons are definitely much more responsive. You can hear them, you can almost feel them click and hear them click while you press them. These are not so clicky or not so easy tactile, I guess. And last but not least, I guess, is the major thing for most people, or at least some people, is that, of course, the app ecosystem is not as mature as other app ecosystems, but it's definitely getting there. In terms of comparing it to other Windows phones, though, there is still some apps. There are still some apps that are not compatible with the 930. The Modern Combat 5, which is a great game, first-person shooter from Gameloft, is not available on the 930 just yet. They're still optimizing the game for the 930. So there you go. That's it for the Nokia Lumia 930. It's a very, very awesome phone. If you're looking for a Windows phone with all of the bells and whistles, including some awesome cameras, awesome audio, and really awesome design, there it is. That's the Nokia Lumia 930. It's $29,990. You might get it a little bit cheaper if you look around, but there you go. I'm Alex from TechnoClass.com. Look at that display. It's really big on this, not actually very big bezel screen. I'm Alex from TechnoClass.com. That has been the Nokia Lumia 930 review. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.